And I had my tablet with me. If I didn't mess around and drop it, it went the floor.
Wow. Good
It's
thing.
amazing how they can take that kind of meat and it still work.
I know. Some of them bust all to pieces if you look at them funny.
Right.
What's odd is I heard the swishing sound right after you stopped.
Right after I stop.
Yeah.
I don't know what you be then. If it's after a stop, it has to be somewhere else.
Yeah. Did you again?
It's still there?
What's odd is it does it right after you stop. It's like a sound.
It may be somebody saying that to get me to stop.
It could be. I'm not the one going shh.
But, it wouldn't surprise me at all what Facebook does
I know.
to these recordings. They can do it. We don't know what to do, therefore we can't fix it.
That's right.
And I'll tell you another, we've been talking some about false teachers.
Yes.
Just before we get started. Now, there's plenty of them out there. As one in particular, he made the statement that in 25, this year, he was going to die, and he's given the date and time he's going to die in 2025.
Well, there is one way that he could do that, but
The other be one way he could do it.
you know. But I wouldn't recommend anybody do that. You
No,
know?
I wouldn't either. But he still don't know if he'd die or not.
That's right.
He could tell it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
I heard a story one time. We'll get into word in a minute. This got me thinking
All right.
and remember. I heard a story about a man one time. He wasn't all that old. But he took a notion he was going to commit suicide.
Well.
And he loaded his pistol with brand new shells. And he turned that gun to his head and started snapping it. And every time he pulled the trigger, it would snap. The bullet wouldn't fire.
Uh-huh.
And when he tried it, every time there was a bullet in the gun, he turned it away from himself into a tree and his part ever shot. Every shot. Every time he pulled the trigger, it would fire.
Yeah.
Now, I think if that was me, if the story is true, if that was me, I don't think I would try it anymore. The people have done crazy things, but we don't know God's time or timing for anything we try to do.
Yeah, that's right.
Especially on our own.
Yeah, considering the topic of this video, it might be a good idea to mention 988, the suicide hotline.
Right.
It's similar to 911. A lot of people there to help you. here contemplating, you know?
Right. But suicide, there ain't no way out.
That's right.
Once you did it, there's no calling it back. And if you, in other words, if you shoot yourself, you can't call that bullet back.
Yeah,
You can't put it back in the gun.
that's right.
You can't take it out of the gun, put it back in the box to come out of.
Yeah,
There's no calling it back.
that's right.
And I know of a man several years ago, and he been dead good long years now. And he was a colored man. And some young man, about 20s or 30s, who went by his house doing a lot of cursing. And he had a young daughter out in the front of the house.
Wow.
And heard him a curse. He loaded his gun, sat out on the porch. When that man come back by, he shot him and killed him.
Well,
And for long, he didn't get no time out of it because what had happened over. But he told everybody after that, he said, if I could call that shell back, he said, I'd throw the shell and gun all the way and run the other way.
yes,
But he said, I cannot call it back.
yes,
I can't do it over. He said, I did it, and the man's gone, and I'm still here. He said, I'd be on my mind until I'm gone.
yeah,
But it's too late. He couldn't do it.
that's right.
He didn't call it back after he did it.
Yes,
And more than likely, he had used as many bad like talk around his daughters that he had
yeah, that's
or
something.
did.
Yeah. A lot of people are like that. They don't see their own fault.
I had to walk by a house one time to go to work, and they had a 6-year-old girl,
Uh-huh.
and she'd curse. You've heard the term cursing like a sailor.
Yeah.
If I ever heard that kind of cursing, she did it,
Wow.
and you could hear her a quarter of a mile away. Way she's cursing, and who was she cursing at was her mom and daddy and her brother.
Goodness.
But they would handle all kinds of talk around her.
Yes.
They raised her to it,
That's right.
but they never think about that.
That's right.
And people raise their own children to do a lot of things they wouldn't normally do.
That's right.
And I think a lot of them, when they grow up and realize what it's all about, it turns them against their parents.
Yes.
I'm teaching them better.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching them about the Lord. I think that bothers them also.
Yes.
But people don't think about that. It's just like a school teacher. They mistreat the children.
Yes.
The one they mistreat will always remember that.
That's right.
And even if they remember, they can't find them to ask them to forgive them.
Yes.
They don't know where they at. Other children grow up and go away to another country, another state somewhere, get them a job,
Yes.
and never come back.
Yeah.
They never get to see them to ask them to forgive them.
That's right.
And they would be in the same boat,
Yeah.
doing something they couldn't call back or change, or couldn't even ask forgiveness.
Yes.
All they can do is pray that that child, when he grows up, forgive them in their heart without being asked.
Yes.
I didn't know I was going to say all that, but I say that in order for people to realize all of us will answer to God one day, whether good or bad.
That's right. Yes.
He's going to give that account.
Yes.
And when we give that account, we'll be giving it for the judge of all judges.
Yes.
Because he knows all things from beginning to the end and from end back to the beginning.
Yes.
No ends and ifs, but all in between.
Right.
Everything.
Yeah.
That's why it's so dangerous to speak certain words. It said, however, on lips we are either justified or condemned.
Yes.
We justify the things that be, and we condemn things not to condemn.
Yes.
And we condemn others, we're condemning ourselves.
Yes.
So that's why I want to stay as close to that word as I possibly can and keep digging deeper for more in there that I still read over.
Yes.
Or didn't get it the first time I read it.
Yes.
That's why I say the Bible was never read completely. I don't matter how many times it's been gone through from lid to lid, there's still something else in there they can find, they can read
That's
and
right.
learn from.
Yes.
So they never get it read.
Yes.
You've heard people I read the Bible through.
Yes.
And I know the lady, she lived to be 104. If my recollection ain't wrong. And she read the Bible so many times. If the ministers around that knew her come up with something couldn't figure out in the scripture, they would go to her and ask her to help them understand that scripture or even find it.
Yeah.
And she could tell them how even opening her Bible.
Wow.
She could tell them where to go to and find what they're looking for.
Yeah.
And she was doing that a good while before she ever passed away.
Yeah.
But that showed you. But no matter, she could have went back and read it again and found something else.
Yes.
But that'd have been a good teacher. That'd been a good lesson to the ministers.
That's right.
That would go to her.
Yes.
And many of them went. If they, in other words, they got hung up in the scriptures, they would go to her.
Yes.
And ask her.
It's something.
And that old lady I told you, caregiver to her and her husband, she was her daughter.
Well.
And I'm telling you, they were good people. That old man and that old lady, they were fine people. They were disabled. They couldn't get out and go like everybody else could, but they talk about them because they didn't go to church on Sunday.
That's sad.
When they could. Yes, it's sad.
Yeah.
And the ones doing that is supposed to have been a good Christian. They should have had enough love in them to realize they wasn't able to go, but yet went and sit down and talk with them a little while, not judge them.
That's right.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
And that happens a lot of times in churches we don't know about.
Yes. There's
even a very own church we attend.
Yes.
There's some in there that would do the very same thing.
There's a lot of homebound Christians that we don't acknowledge because they were never affiliated with their church, you know?
Right. And this is one main thing. Another thing I love about this, we can go into those homes where they can't go and hear it.
That's right.
Or they may be able to read it, but they can't hear it.
Yes.
They may not be able to understand it because it ain't been explained to them.
Yeah.
Because back then they didn't have education like people got today.
That's right.
And I told that old man and old lady one time, I said, I ain't educated like some is. They said you got more education and most of them got the college degrees.
Yeah.
Said you got common sense to go with what you got. They ain't got nothing.
Yeah.
They don't know what common sense is.
Yes. I've seen that before.
And that Kennedy, that Senator Kennedy, he's a Republican. But he made a statement 2 or 3 times that common sense must be illegal in Washington.
Yeah. Well, it seems like.
Yeah. But, you know, a person like that, if you could sit down and talk to them like that senator, he would listen to what you had to say in the Word.
Yeah.
And he would carry it to them. He'd record it to them. I've heard him quote some of the scripture to them.
Yeah. Seems like a lot of Washington is just a fight between Democrats and Republicans.
Right.
You know?
One trying to be better than the other.
Yes.
One side working against the good, and the good can't work, or they all-time meddling in their business.
Yes.
But again, God's in control.
That's right.
He knows every word that comes out of their mouth. He knows how they deceive. And he knows how people become deceived.
Yes.
And many times we deceive our own selves.
That's right.
We can listen to the wrong one and deceive our own selves.
Yes.
Or become deceived.
Yes.
The person comes out with the words that they're perfect and they haven't sinned. They ain't got no common sense.
That's right.
They're looking at it from the world side instead of God's side.
Yes.
And they're condemning themselves.
That's right.